in your interest, where we have been discussing the growing controversy around E20 petrol. This is after concerns were raised over its impact on older vehicles. We've been talking about it time and again. We again have one very credible voice here. And now the debate has sparked strong reactions from motorists, experts, and the automobile industry. And the government has responded with a detailed point by point fact check seeking to address what it calls misinformation surrounding India's ethanol blending program. So the government says there is no verified evidence of widespread engine damage caused by E20 fuel. It argues that E20 has already been in widespread use for more than 2.5 years, and that if the fuel were truly damaging engines, India would have already witnessed millions of breakdowns, massive warranty claims, and large-scale service campaigns. So, to speak more on this, joining me here on the broadcast is Rohit Iyer. Rohit Iyer explains. You know him well on Instagram. Many thanks, Rohit. Rohit, you've been speaking on E20 for the longest time now, and telling us the story from both the sides, helping us understand the claims from the facts. This new PIB fact check that has come about yesterday and the week before, we were discussing that the government is trying to tell us, it is giving us the data, but the speed with which it is giving us the data is actually not at par with the problems that the motorists are facing on the road. To support their case, the PIB fact check, would you like to throw some light on that, highlight some points over there?
It's great to see the government giving us answers and, settling all the debates that are going on about E20 right now, because there are so many questions, aren't there? And it's become another movement in its own self. If you think about it, after the latest one that just happened, let's not go there. But this E20 debate has become a sort of a movement, and consumers want answers. And the government has started listening. So that's a positive sign that we should praise the government for. So they
Okay.
have come across with this PIB fact check. And I'll tell you honestly, a lot of the things that the government has claimed are factually correct and scientifically backed. So this document, which the government has released, I'm sorry, this
Yeah.
document that the government has released is factually correct in almost every single thing that it has mentioned. And it is correct to point that had E20 been such a massive issue, crores of cars would have been compromised and we would have found out, because E19, E20 has been in implementation since 2.5 years. We have had E15 since the last 3.5 years. And that is correct. That's not the problem. We have discussed this
Ethanol
countless times
supply and
before
the
as well.
average blending each year. 2013, 2014, 1.53%, 2020, 2021, 8.1%, 2022, 10%, 23, 12%. So basically, in the run up till 2025, 2026, November, June data, it was 8.1, 10%, 12%, 14%, 19%, and now 20%. The government says this has been a phased out 25-year rollout, actually.
Yeah, it actually started in about 2001 to 2003, somewhere between that. In fact, it was the Congress government that actually laid the idea out there for it to be started on. And they weren't fast enough. They did not implement it at the speed that we've currently seen the current government go about it.
Yeah.
So it has been happening. It started off at about 1%, 2%, gradually kept increasing every couple of years to now being at E20 4 years before the planned timeline. Planned timeline was 2030. It came about in 2025, 2026, full 100% implementation. So yes, there has been a lot of testing data. The problem isn't that. The problem is mainly around the questions about the data from the manufacturers about how different cars and different variants support different types of ethanol,
Yeah.
and what type of products, I mean, what type of car parts should be watching out for. Because, see, if I'm a car owner and if I'm going to be planning to own a car for, let's say, 15 years, which is fair to assume if you're buying a car for 20, 25 lakhs, you should be able to own it for 15 years. Why not even longer? Why not? They're
I
expensive,
understand.
right?
I understand.
So as a buyer, I want to understand which parts should I be watching out for more and which car variant so that I can know
So that's
exactly
what the
which car
auto
I should
industry
buy.
needs to do a little bit more. They need to be more precise in their information. Running out of time here, but very quickly, one more question. The auto industry says, naming Maruti Suzuki, they've been mentioned in that fact check. Maruti Suzuki, Toyota, Kirloskar, Hero Motocorp, Hyundai, TVS, Bajaj. They've all publicly reaffirmed confidence in E20 rollout. So when I'm asking you, what practical advice do you give your viewers today? Do you think all these brand names that have been mentioned, this actually will instill confidence in the viewers out there?
See, consumers are rightful in no in not in not supporting what's come out and have their doubts. Of course, they're going to have doubts. It's being pushed onto them and it's happening way too fast. So consumers have all the right to have the right questions. The only point that they need to understand now is that there is no choice. So you need to start following what needs to be done to take care of your car. Do some research, find out about your fuel systems, keep getting your car maintained, go to the service center, buy the brand, talk questions, ask questions related to E20. And yeah, try to fill from
Okay.
good petrol
All
pumps
right.
because fuel contamination is a massive issue.
All right, then. I think many thanks, Rohit, for again taking all the time. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And I know and I understand that we're talking about E20 a lot. It's great that the government has come out. You're right. Government is listening, and it's great that they've come out with this fact check. And once again, thanks for taking on the time and putting, all of this into context and perspective for all the viewers out there. Your own, viewership. The E20 debate is far from over, but in a discussion dominated by claims and counterclaims, the one thing that consumers deserve is clear, transparent, and evidence based information.